Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Waller's Wallet, and this is my monthly Q&A where we also talk about a topic, but more importantly, I answer your questions as we, oh, that's not true, as we kind of guide through some stuff. So tonight I wanted to talk about the spat or the article that came out from the Wall Street Journal talking about Chase and United, how United is a little upset with Chase. But more importantly, answering your questions. So leave those comments down in the comment section, and we'll get through them there as well. But first, if you're stumbling across the channel for the first time, this channel is all about credit cards, credit card rewards, and showing you how to use your points and miles to travel for less. So if you're interested in stuff like that, consider subscribing. And if you're really interested, you can turn that bell notification on as well. Now, what's really interesting about the article from the Wall Street Journal is that they lay out a pretty interesting concept or idea that United is really upset with the Sapphire Reserve being so popular. And they're telling Chase they feel like this is directly competing with their product. And with Airline, and it's directly competing with their airline credit cards and taking customers away from their product. Because United wants you to sign up for their credit cards for their airline specific miles. But Chase offers more options as well. So yeah, but especially as we see these airlines racing towards the bottom, removing benefits, reducing point values, it's really hard to see people recommending them to use these. And as I tell each and every one of you, you want to focus on flexible currency over airline specific or even hotel specific points because they just offer more options, especially as these airlines programs do take things away. And United is trying to get more money from Chase as well by having them pay United more money for their miles. But I guess in the article, their contract good for another 6 years, which seems just silly to me. Why do you want a bank to pay you more money when you keep reducing the value of your miles? But by Chase buying these miles at one price and United reducing them means that Chase is essentially overpaying for these miles. Plus, Chase pays United each time you use your card for the mile that you accrue on your credit card. So if Chase is buying them, we'll say 2 cents per mile. I don't know what they're buying them at, but let's just say 2 cents per mile, and United devalues them. Chase is still paying 2 cents per point, and people aren't redeeming all their points. So Chase is overpaying for this. Now, let's dig down and really talk about the issues here. Because one thing I will agree with United on, and it's probably the only thing I agree with them on this, is that the Chase Sapphire Reserve is directly competing with United credit card because number one, all the credit cards are competing for your spend. There's got to be something that brings value for you to use that credit card. And the reason why it's directly competing, you can move your Ultimate Reward points at 1-to-1 over to United, or you can even use it through their portal at 1.5 cents per point. But that's about all I agree with them. And then I'm about to rant on about this with them as well. Now, the fact that United is blaming Chase for United's lack of competitiveness, I find really entertaining because United has decided to move to more a dynamic pricing for their awards starting in November. And no one forced them to do this. They're choosing to do this. So, and in doing so, they're reducing their benefits for people. They're reducing the saver space across even Coach or making it really crappy for Coach and even harder for business. So really, they're reducing the overall value of their miles. Again, United did this, Chase didn't. And by United doing that, United is now entering the world where they're entering essentially as United Cashback. And once you enter that arena, I'll say of cashback value, of basically giving them, we'll say a 1.4 cent per point value or even 1.5 cent per point value to redeem them for an award ticket, people are going to start looking for better options for number one, to earn rewards, but also redeem them. If I can redeem United miles, let's say at 1.5 cents per point, I still have to pay the taxes and fees on it. I'm not accruing any miles. But if I were to use my Chase Sapphire Reserve, for example, through the portal, I'm still going to get 1.5 cents per point, but I'm going to accrue miles for future flights. So it's a no-brainer at the same value. And when your credit cards don't offer that competitive earning rate, or benefits, people are just going to acquire your card for the bonus, if at all. I know I don't even recommend people these cards till number one, they've already acquired flexible currency cards if they're under 524. And then at the same time, for long-term benefit, I'm recommending typically hotel credit cards because year after year, you get better benefits from hotel credit cards than you do from airline credit cards. The exception will be if you fly them all the time and you can use like the free check bag benefit, but that's really about it. But the issue is here, United is wanting to place the blame on someone else for them decreasing the value of their miles rather than improving or competing with cards like the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And really, at the end of the day, this is a United problem and not a Chase problem. So my thing for United is they just need to shut up and they need to improve their product, service, or become more competitive in that market. Because as you know, when you look at like the big three in the United States, you have Delta, you have American Airlines, and you have United. And I think as far as service is concerned, Delta blows American and United out of the water. American can't seem to get out of their own way right now with their mechanics issue, and United is just there. I mean, as far as basic, I'm actually flying them down, United down to New York at the end of August on basic economy because it's only an hour flight. But you know, out of the other airlines, they seem to be the most restrictive across the board. So they don't seem to be as productively or as friendly. But I do think if you're not wanting to increase the value of your miles, you need to offer some sort of benefit or benefits that make people want to use your credit card, even hold that credit card, because that's what hotels credit cards do, right? With the Hilton Aspire, you can have that credit card. You're in diamond status. You get a free night certificate every year. You have an opportunity to earn another night there. You know, you get the resort credit. You get an airline credit. You know, you get a lot of benefits with that card. The Hyatt credit card, the category 1 through 4 every year. You can earn a second credit card or second night certificate with the, you know, spending $15,000 a year. And what do these airline credit cards give you? You know, you get like the Delta, you get the companion certificate, which is limited to a certain class and routes or certain fare classes. But a couple ideas I have, because for United, they need to look at benefits, because I just don't think there's any way in hell they're actually going to compete with the Chase Sapphire Reserve as far as earning rates. Because even at, let's say, 4x United miles, I'm still going to recommend for people to earn 3x Ultimate Reward points, because it gives you more flexibility. Because we don't know, number one, what United's going to do come November. We'll know when it's going to happen. Like once it comes in, we're going to see. And if you've been paying attention to American Airlines, like website specials, they're all over the place. One day might be 7,500 miles, and the next day is like 72,000 miles. It's just, that's what we're kind of getting into with dynamic range currencies here with the US big three. So you're not really going to compete in the earning side. But what you might be able to do is compete on the benefit side. If you offer great benefits, something that makes me want that card, like, wow, you know what? This is a great benefit here. Then I'm more likely to want to hold your card. Just like I said, with hotel credit cards, you know, and a couple ideas I have. This one would be, I think, a little bit tougher, but, you know, add status for that United Club credit card. That card comes with, what, a $450 annual fee. It gives you their lounge access. Cool, great. You got to be flying United Metal anyways for that. So that doesn't really help a whole lot of people if you're not flying United consistently. But if you were to maybe say, hey, I fly United a couple times a year, but I can get, we'll say, even silver status for holding that credit card, it might be more appealing. But it also might, if you give the opportunity to purchase, you know, spend your way to a higher status, kind of like what Delta does with the waiver when you spend so much on the Delta card. That would be a unique, number one, benefit you don't get with American. You don't get with Delta. You don't even get that with the, you know, the premium credit card products, you know, the Reserve, the Platinum card, anything like that. That would be interesting. And I think people might go, that's a great benefit. I would like some status because, number one, they can keep it. They could possibly status match. And that might be worth $450 for them, or even more depending on the status you give them. Wi-Fi credits. I've been really big on this recently because Wi-Fi is, you know, I feel like Wi-Fi in the planes are becoming more important for people. Some people like to disconnect. Cool. Totally get it. But, you know, I like to do work on the plane. So it's nice to be connected to do that kind of work. But we've kind of seen this now. If you look at the Southwest Performance credit card, they've offered a Wi-Fi credit of $8 Wi-Fi credit up to 365 times. You know, 300, basically a pass a day, and you can use them however you want. You can use 10 a day if you wanted to, if you're taking that many flights. But the Wi-Fi credits give you something, because a lot of them, you know, if you look at, you know, even the Altitude Reserve, which I'm a big fan of, it's only on go-go equipped planes. So if I'm not on a go-go equipped plane, it's useless to me. By offering that, even on just United flights, it's an opportunity for me to go, well, at least it gives me Wi-Fi on any United flight. maybe they should look to waive the close-in booking fees for their credit card holders, because that is, number one, such a garbage fee to begin with. But two, that's when you get into closing, like the close-in time, and you're looking for miles, you're looking for ways to avoid that $75 close-in fee. I'll tell people, look at Aeroplan. If you're going to be looking within 21 days for, let's say, a domestic flight or even potentially international, look at some other program, because they're going to charge you $75 for that within 3 weeks. It's a garbage fee. If you were to waive that for credit card holders, that might be something interesting for them. So, number one, I'm interested in if they'll even consider that going forward, especially as their dynamic currency comes in. And another one is free flight changes. Things happen. United, I think Southwest has probably one of the best policies in this, is that one, you can cancel your flight or change your flight at no cost. If the flights were to go up or down, if they drop in price, you can get a refund. You can rebook the flight. That's what makes them so friendly. Southwest has more limited routes, but if you offer credit card holders free flight changes, that gives a little bit more value, because, things happen in life. If you can say, hey, this one dropped in price, I'm going to change that flight, it does add value to that. So they need to look at ways of offering their credit card holders more benefits, because one benefit I'm not sold on when they go dynamic, which they currently have, is the extra award space when you're a credit card holder. And the reason why I'm not sold on that is, once they go dynamic, it's no blackout dates. Anytime there's a seat, they're supposed to be kind of like Delta. There's a seat, it's available. So if you're right now on the standard award chart, going to give you going to give me extra award space, and now that's going to be open to everyone, what benefit does that hold to me anymore? Do I get a discount? We've seen some of their promotions in the past where they've offered 20% discount for, I think it was like Tahiti, if you're a credit card holder, and then if you had status, it was even more than that. So what kind of benefits are going to give me going forward when you go dynamic? Because if there's no extra benefits for me, your card's not worth $95 a year. Your card's not worth your card's not even worth the $450 that you're going to charge for these premium cards. So really, United just kind of need to get into the think tank and think about it, because they can't really complain about the fact the reserve is just kicking its ass. They need to do something about it. And if they're not, they just kind of need to bow out. Now, I don't know what this means long term for Chase and American Express, Chase and United. I'd have to think that if United really feels spurred by this, when their contract negotiation comes up, they might look somewhere else. I have no idea if that's even happening. Maybe United just can happy with them because they've been partners with them, I think the article said, since like 1987. So there's a long-standing relationship here. I can't imagine they just, pack up bags and leave, but, stranger things have happened. So if that happens, I'll totally be on board for that. I'd really be pulling for like American Express to kind of swoop in to take them. But we have to wait and see. I think it's an interesting issue with these flexible currency cards offering better value than airline specific cards, because your miles, unless you have a specific need, there's really no reason for you to be holding on to and spending on these actual co-branded credit cards, unless you're working for some sort of status or extra like free night certificate, because there's just so much more flexibility in flexible currency. Chase Ultimate Rewards, American Express membership rewards, Citi thank you points, even though they just call it benefits, they're really just kind of crapping on the program. But why would I can get transfer bonuses with a couple of these, with programs as well. So why would I want to pigeonhole my miles when tomorrow I could wake up and American Airlines is now going to charge me 20% more for that same flight? But if I had flexible currency, I can look at, using British Airways or Iberia or even Etihad, so they've got to work on the benefit side, because these co-branded credit cards just are not going to do anything on the earning side, in my opinion, because there's just no way they can offer 5, 6, 7x per point to really make it worth your while. But that's kind of where I feel on those, because I think this is a common issue, especially if you even look across the board. And I just don't know if Chase is really going to get more, or United's going to get more money out of Chase, because United's already getting a lot of money to begin with. So they're overvaluing, I'm assuming, their miles. So that's where I stand on that. They need to improve the benefits. They need to shut their mouths and figure out how to, compete, as opposed to just whining about the fact that they're losing money because their card sucks. That's kind of where I stand. But now let's see if I have some questions here. I got a few here. Hey, Nathan, how you doing, man? All right. Airline credits are kind of crap. Poor earning rates. Most important thing, you can only get a early set if you shell out $450 card. Um, yeah, I think as a whole, when you look at long-term benefits, unless you fly, like I have like the Delta Gold for myself, and I keep the Delta Gold because we're pretty much held hostage here with mostly Delta out of Bangor here, and we do check a bag occasionally. So we hold it for that benefit, but we fly them enough to justify it. And we check a bag a couple times a year when we fly to where we can justify it on the way home. If it wasn't for that, I'd get rid of the card because I don't even put any spending on the card. It sits in my drawer. It sits in my little, my credit card holder because it never sees the light of day. But yeah, it's hard to justify those for some of those costs. United needs to offer Forex like Hyatt for their stays, properties, or offer a better product. I agree, Solid Liquid. I'm not even sure if Forex will do it, but I think at least brings people to the table saying, wow, there's Forex miles for, not even it's United flights. I want something better than just United flights. Give me Forex on groceries. Give me Forex on gas. Like something that really makes me want to use it. Because if I still had to purchase airfare and I was stuck between 4 United miles, I'll even say my altitude reserve, I'm going to put it on my altitude reserve because I feel I'm going to get better value, even at 1.5 cents per point, than I am with the United miles. Like I was looking for you. I actually was searching United for us to fly over to Europe later this year. I ended up booking it was a complete separate way, but there was saver availability. But my saver availability was like 32 hours of flight time with 2 stops, and it was awful. Like, so why on earth would I want to do that to myself when I can use my points as, my 1.5 cents per point? Yeah, maybe I have to spend like 35,000 points total, but it covers my taxes and fees as well. And I'm going to have a better, like more direct route. So they need to stop screwing around with that as well. I think that would be helpful at the same time. All right, let's see. Zoliac says, honestly, I don't know who has a worse CEO, American or United, considering they have less competition now. I would say both of them are kind of towards the bottom tier. I think Americans really fallen down really hard. A couple years ago, they were doing really well. But I just feel, yeah, their issues with the mechanics definitely have been hurting them. I feel like every time I'm on Twitter, I see how they are delayed, canceled. It just seems to be one issue after another. And I can't tell you, my wife doesn't even want to fly American really anymore because every time we have flown American, even just coming home, there's always some reason we're delayed. It's canceled. We were actually stuck. I don't know if I told you guys the story. We were flying home from DC. We were diverted over to Manchester because it was foggy. Totally cool. Get it. Weather, not an issue. We landed in Manchester at like 12:30 at night. Now, we were supposed to get up. We sat on the tarmac for about an hour, hour and a half. And then we were told there were American reps waiting for us downstairs so we could like get a hotel. They were comping us a hotel and we could, be back in the morning for our flights. We get there. There's no one there. There's legitimately no one there except for just a couple security guards, like some people doing just kind of like maintenance. And they didn't come in till like 5 a.m. So like they were trying to get us a hotel room to go to the hotel, which was like, 10, 15 minutes away for like 2.5 hours. So like American just like dropped, I don't fault them for the weather. I don't ever fault anyone for the weather. But the fact they told us there was people waiting and there was no one waiting was a big problem. So like my wife has really just sworn off American for now. So we're looking elsewhere. And like, they're one of just, 3 airlines that really fly out of Bangor. So, it just kind of sucks on that part. Let's see. They need to kick some more people off the plane. What's up, Big A? How you doing, man? Champ, what's up, bro? Question: would you still use up a 524 slot for the United card? Debating between that and the IHG card. What's up, Champ? How you doing, man? Personally, if you can use the IHG 40,000 point certificate each year, I think you're going to get a better long-term benefit for it. The United miles, if you have an immediate need for them and you're sitting at 424, you might get one good flight out of them, but then you're going to get rid of the card in a year, unless you plan to keep it and actually, just keep it there for the extra space, which we don't know if that's going to happen. Me, I would probably go IHG because that 40,000 points, while it might not get you like an intercontinental or some super, swanky hotel, it's really hard to say you're not going to get the value of that 40,000 points each year at a hotel. So that free night certificate is definitely going to be worth it in the long term compared to what United is offering you. Let's see. Lionel says, do you feel 524 is to blame partially by restricting good potential users from getting this card? Lionel, I think the 524, I don't know if that's partially to blame. It could be here because now, a couple of years ago, before all this 524 stuff went on, you'd apply for whatever card came your way. And you would take advantage of the best offer. And there were times, this is before I even got in the game where people were like hitting the same banks for multiple cards week after week after week and earning tons and tons of miles. But as it became more mainstream, we have blogs out there like, everyone, every time I talk to someone like the Points Guy or like there's 1 Mile at a Time, Million Mile Secrets, everyone, all the blogs people started with, including myself, they're starting to really expand out. People are gaming the system now at I think a higher rate. And, right now we're trying to tell people, look, you don't want United Miles straight off the get-go. You want flexible currency. It's just better. I mean, it's just better. It's not even close. Like I would rather I think I saw a question. Someone was like, would you take 12X or 6X Hilton or like 2 or 3X Ultimate Rewards? I would take Ultimate Rewards any day of the week just because they offer me more flexibility. I value the flexibility far more. But I feel like it's partially to blame because we now are more strategic. If anyone who I've been getting more credit card consults and like people are new to the game. What do I tell them? Flexible currency. You start with Chase. Even if you don't have a whole lot of options with Chase, you start there because even if you don't do anything with the points, let's say you don't want to transfer, $600 is $600. I know it's not the best way to use it, but like the Chase Sapphire Preferred at, a net, 505 is still pretty good. So I would say it's partially there, but not completely. All right, let's say, let's see. I hate how YouTube does that. I just moved my comments. All right, let's see. How long did it take to go through EU customs passport control? I'm flying Seattle to Rome with an hour, 25-minute stop in Paris between flights. Wondering if there's enough time. When we were in Paris, the airports were a little crowded, but they weren't bad. They moved really well over in Paris. So I think as long as there's no delays, I'm assuming you're all on one itinerary instead of booking 2 separate tickets. So the airline will get you there either way, but I think an hour 25 should be good enough to get through Paris. We didn't have any issues whatsoever at all. Enjoy Rome as well, BK. Loved Rome. If you can get out to Pompeii, I totally would recommend that. Pompeii was a great little day trip. Stop off in Naples as well. Let's see. Champs asks, do you still have your Delta Gold or any other airline card? Personally making plans to hold a couple long term. At the moment, we have Delta, and I've held that one for a couple years. My wife's annual fee for the American Airlines Platinum Select just came through. I'm going to product change that card, get that out of there because I see no reason to actually keep that. So right now it's just Delta, and I'm kind of wavering if I'm going to keep that next year because we don't really check bags. We get priority boarding now because we have a baby. So there's really no reason for me to do that. And if I can wait to get a no lifetime language offer either online or in the mail, I take advantage of that, get the bonus. I've never had the business version either of the Delta Gold. So I have the opportunity to get a bonus on that as well as keeping it for the benefit. So Delta only, might not keep it much longer though. All right, let's see. BK, how do you transfer dollar to euro at an ATM in country or bank before you leave? BK, that is a great question. So if you are traveling with dollars and you're trying to convert them, number one, you do not want to convert them in the airport. You're going to get royally screwed on the exchange as well as the fees. You never convert them there. 2, if you have a credit card with no foreign transaction fees, it's probably going to be your best bet in a lot of these countries. And in Rome, a lot of places took credit cards, so I wouldn't be too concerned. Number 3, if you're looking to get money, I highly recommend the Charles Schwab account because there's no foreign transaction fees. They reimburse your ATM fees at anywhere across the world. If you want, I get nothing for it, but I have a link for like $100 for you when you open up an account. It's totally worth it. We have it anytime we travel internationally, which we're going to a couple places this year over in Europe, that it's totally worth it because it has saved us a lot of money. And before we found out about that, we would lose probably anywhere from 15 to 20% in converting dollars over to any foreign currency at these exchanges. Because even when you find a decent one, you exchange it out for a lower rate than what the euro is or whatever currency is. When you exchange it back into dollars, you lose money as well. So I typically now get money at an ATM. And I take out small amounts because my Charles Schwab doesn't charge me anything. And then I just use what I have. And right before I come home, if I have a couple dollars left in whatever currency or a couple euros, I buy myself, like a beer or some candy and I call it good. Let's see. So the United card can be a great card if you take advantage of the MPX app. So Rolo, I don't disagree with you. You get a slightly better earning rate with that. But even then, are you earning? The question you need to ask yourself is, are you earning enough miles to justify, well, let me say, the $95 fee? If I were to look at that, I would probably look at maybe the fee-free card, which should still give that to you. But even then, it's still taking up a slot for you. But I agree, you do get that extra earning rate from them as well as through their shopping portal as well, which could be beneficial for you if you're someone who does utilize a lot of United miles. Joseph, what's going on, man? Happy you could make it. Let's see. Solid Liquid, they need a card that matches the Delta Platinum card, lease silver status, waiving fees, no bag fees, Forex earning, companion pass after spending X amount, etc. I don't necessarily disagree with. They need to do something with their the Delta Platinum card. I think if you're looking for like a mid-range airline card and they have options, it's not bad. My mother-in-law keeps, and I think even her sister keeps the Platinum card, Delta Platinum card for that for that companion certificate. They can get some really good value on certain trips to where that's coming out ahead. So that there does offer value for people, and people will hold it for that. Does United doesn't give that to you whatsoever. So United really needs to kind of they steal everything else from Delta and they kind of just follow Delta's lead anyway. So why don't they just steal like the idea from Delta and just add a companion certificate? I mean, they follow them in everything else they do. Let's see. People are going to start weighing 5X with a Platinum or 3X. CSR is the baseline. I agree 100% here. The Platinum, you could even go Prestige at 5X as well. And the CSR at 3X. These are the new baselines for airline earnings or travel earnings in general. Because if you're earning anything less than that, it's, if you're someone who's trying to maximize all your earnings, those are definitely the best ones to be at. The positive, I guess, if you want to say the trade-off with the Platinum card and the CSR is with the Reserve, you get the travel protection benefits. The Platinum card, you don't. So you're kind of giving up 2 points per dollar for better travel protections. Or if you're like, hey, screw it, I don't really care about those, you can earn better rewards with the Prestige card or even the Platinum card. And the Platinum card and the Prestige are kind of now like on the same level, if you want to call it that, because travel protections are scrapped on both of those cards, or they don't have it. Let's see. Louise says, well, it would be a worse issue with American Express. The Platinum gives you 5 points per dollar. Well, it would be worse issue with American Express. The Platinum card gives you 5 points per dollar. Would make the United cards less competitive. Yeah, any of these flexible currency cards, Louise, I agree. Anytime when you have a flexible currency card with these, it just makes it really hard for the United to be competitive or any of the airline cards. Let's see. Nathan says, well, it's going to end up being a glorified travel-specific cashback card. I don't disagree with that. I'm curious to see. They said that they're going to keep partners at an award-style chart. Like, even though they're pulling their award chart, it's going to kind of be the same. I'm curious how long that actually lasts and if they're going to make partners go dynamic as well. I'm hoping not, because you can get some better value out of those. And frankly, if they're going to be dynamic for their own metal, I know I'm going to look for other partners that they're using, flying either like Swiss or Lufthansa or someone like that, where I can get better value as well as a better service. I mean, I think one of my best coach experiences has been on Lufthansa. And that was when we went over to Budapest. It was fantastic. And Lufthansa was great. I don't know if them and Austrian are probably my best coach experiences to date. United, when we flew United to Hawaii, it was awful. It was terrible. It was funny. We kind of sat towards the back, and when we were in the back, they ran out of options for food, and they were charging everyone for food for like an 11-hour flight. But because they basically just had like vegetarian subs remaining, I think it was vegetarian. I think it was. They just basically just gave it to us because there was no option. So it wasn't great. I get it if you want like a better experience, fly business class, but like other airlines, I just feel like the experience is just overall better. I've never been treated that poorly on a Delta flight. I could even say even or American, but like United has just been awful for like some of those longer hauls for us. So, some people like them, it is what it is. Let's see. I've been thinking about getting a United card, but Chase's 524 rule is killing me. Charles, that's that's everyone's complaint, right? 524, you have to be strategic. You get those ultimate reward point earning cards first. Most people are going to get Hyatt, I think, if you want to call it, at the 4 spot. And you're trying to figure out what you're doing for the 5th spot, because do you get another hotel card? You know, even Marriott, if you're not a big Marriott fan, do you get a Marriott card, or do you get, you know, the United card or the IHG card? So you have a couple opportunities there. So that last spot is definitely killing people, especially as you probably want to slow down on applications between things, because man, some of Chase is just getting tough out there. CJ, let's see. CJ says, I'm getting out of 524 in September, was looking to spring my first airline card. I prefer to fly Delta. However, I was contemplating the United at $95 annual fee from Chase because they seem to be routinely the lowest airfare coming out of LAX. So I would keep an eye on that. If you're coming out in September and you're looking to get a card immediately, I would look to see what the bonuses are offering out there for you, CJ. Because they might be the best price now, but come November, they might not be. And frankly, I don't think anybody really knows yet. I haven't seen any information talking about what the awards are going to be like. So I would keep an eye on that. So if you're not rushing to get a card, I would wait on the United just to see what their dynamic pricing is come mid-November, because while you might get it now, you may have buyer's remorse if you don't have an opportunity to use them right away. Just kind of my kind of thought on that one there. All right, let's see. Joseph says, unfortunately, I don't fly United or use Chase at the moment, but I do fly American and Southwest. Just upset that the airline fee doesn't work for gift cards anymore. Joseph, I agree. That is definitely hurtful, I think, for a lot of people. And actually, I think over my Facebook group, Abel asked me a similar question. With the airline incidentals credits not working, do I predict others are going to downgrade or cancel their gold card? Now, if you're I have a couple, like my Hilton Aspires give me credits, and it kind of sucks. I can't use them for gift cards anymore. So it's less valuable to me because everyone was counting on getting those gift cards, which, I've been a big factor that you're buying it. You're basically shifting your money over to the airlines. Like, you're just shifting money. Like, hey, I'll give you $200. You give me $200 of gift cards back. I wouldn't do that on a normal daily basis. But now it's like, hey, I'm giving you $200. I got to use it on something I wouldn't have ever bought. So I think for a lot of people, it's not even the same value. So I don't think, if when you look at the effective annual fee cost, you can be like, well, I'm getting $200 of value from that airline credit. There are some workarounds in that. Some people buy like a refundable airfare. It doesn't technically work for airfare, but I can tell you I've gotten my airfare reimbursed multiple times with the credit. So I would definitely work on that. And if it doesn't credit appropriately, maybe telling, American Express you bought some baggage fees and a seat upgrade is a good opportunity to get that money back. I've done that in the past. It's been pretty good for me there. But yeah, it does suck they no longer work on gift cards. It does reduce the value, I think, long term. Joel says, hi, can you explain credit card utilization? I have a limit of $1,000, for example. I've spent $990. I pay my balance full at the end of the month. What happened? So the utilization, Joel, is pretty much what it looks at is how much credit you have to how much you're using. So your $1,000 example, for example, you've used 99% of that credit, that your available credit. So if what happens is if it's reported, so if your utilization's that high and your statement closes and it gets reported that way, your score probably dropped a bit. That's what I'm assuming. So what happens is when you pay it off, it'll bounce back. So what you want to do in that situation is that you need to either keep your utilization low, which if you're paying it off in full every month, it's not a big deal. It's just when that statement closes. The other option is to look to apply for other credit cards. I wouldn't necessarily request a credit line increase because some banks will do a hard pull for that, and that's not worth it. If I'm going to take a hard pull, I want a new card, I want a bonus, I want something working me towards something. So that's probably what happened there. So if you're at $990 and you have $1,000 limit, you're utilizing 99% of your utilization, which banks don't like. Typically, I always tell people to stay at zero, but banks have been, banks look at if it's over 20 or 30%, they look at it in a negative fashion. So while you may be paying off, it's just that it just may report that you're using it. Let's see. Charles says, I'm debating on getting the JetBlue card, but then again, the JetBlue card would help me out since I live right by one of the hubs. My favorite card so far is the Delta Platinum card. Charles, I think that if you fly JetBlue is probably one of my better domestic coach experiences. Their airline just super awesome. But right now, I think I got an email. I don't know if it's targeted, but it was like 50,000 points if I wanted one of their cards. It's been as high as 60,000 in the past. So I'd be patient because, it might come back around for that. And Barclays also been a bit tougher for applications. So I would definitely keep an eye out. If you wanted to go Barclays, I wouldn't necessarily churn cards so much. Just lay low for a little bit, let the applications fall down, and then go for them. Let's see. I wish the companion pass. I wish the companion pass as a bonus offer for Southwest would be brought back. CJ, I'm going to disagree with you on this one, man. Just because it's great if you're someone. I think if they brought this back, I think it's a net negative for everyone. Because the way it was working was like right now, if you got 2 Southwest credit cards, you get 110,000 points and the Southwest companion pass for the rest of this year and next year. And if the way that offer was, it was marketed really well, but you'd get it. You basically would be locked out of getting the bonus again for another 24 months. And you'd only have the companion pass for basically the rest of that year. So it's super easy to get it in that fashion. But long term, you're going to get better value from opening a business card or even with the personal card. Like the Southwest Performance is 80,000 points now. And 30 days later, you go for the Southwest, was it Plus or Premier card, get the bonus. You have the Southwest Companion Pass. You're even flying today for another, 17 months or something like that. So, or 18 months. So you're getting better value out of those 2 offers there. So it's nice, but that offer, you'd only get 30,000 points in the Southwest Companion Pass, which the Companion Pass is awesome, but 30,000 points is not going to get you that far. But I know some people really do like it. What would be a better card than the United card other than JetBlue or Delta card? Charles, what are you looking for, man? Like, are you just looking for airline miles? I think I just need a little bit more information from you there because there's a lot of cards I would say that are better than United. Let's see. Dustin, what are your thoughts on the end of the gift card loophole for our Amex cards? Solid Liquid, I think it's pretty bad. I think the reason bad is because people were calculating, myself included, that I calculated it was about 80 to 85% of the value when I was calculating my effective annual fee for credit cards. Now, because now I'm basically going to need to actually use this stuff for their intended use. But there is some workarounds. Some people buy refundable airfare, and they'll go ahead and reach out to American Express, or they'll buy on award tickets and get credited for you. I think overall net negative. I think they're going to see a lot more people looking to either cancel or somehow work their ways out of it. Because not everyone's going to be able to buy gift cards. Not everyone's flying as much and getting the true value out of those. And frankly, I don't really care to upgrade my seat for, $80 a person from here to New York and premium economy on United or American or Delta. Let's see. Charles, what's up, man? How you doing tonight? Nesty says, I'm from Miami. I'm debating whether to go either with Delta or JetBlue. Hell, hold on one second. Hey, David, Wise Flies is here. How you doing, David? If you guys don't know David has the channel Wise Flies, puts out great content. I think he's been killing it recently. He's been putting out content, I feel 3-4 times a week recently. If you haven't checked out his channel, totally check it out. Puts out great content. David's awesome. So let's see. Nesty says, I'm from Miami. I'm debating whether to go with Delta or JetBlue. I have the Amex Everyday card for points. Can I transfer them I can transfer them either, but I feel I'm getting a better value from JetBlue. So Nesty, I would take a look at one because American Express transfers at a 5-to-4 ratio over to JetBlue. So let's say point value wise, when you look at their websites, you do need to take into account that it's a 5-to-4 transfer ratio. When you're looking at Delta, also take a look at the Flying Blue website. Also take a look at Virgin Atlantic, because while it may cost you more points on Delta, utilizing Flying Blue may be a better option for you domestically, as well as maybe Virgin Atlantic as well. So I would take a look at those. You definitely want to run those numbers because it's 5-to-4 for JetBlue, 1-to-1 to Delta. You got to pay the excise tax on both of them, which really sucks. That's 0.0006 cents per point for up to $99 fee. But if you transfer them to, let's say, Flying Blue or Virgin Atlantic, you save yourself the money on that. So take a look at those programs as well. Thanks, man. I enjoyed it. Thanks, BK. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate it for me, man. Let's see. Where'd it go? Man, YouTube's got to stop doing this. David says, Wise Fly Schwab is the best card ever. I rarely ever exchange money anymore. ATM all the way. David, wise flies, I totally agree with you, man. I think I bring with me maybe like 20 bucks cash at most in case I truly need it. But I'm usually hitting the ATMs up right as I land, or just wait till I know, like when I land, say, okay, there's an ATM here, here, and here. If I need cash, I go right then and there. It has saved me so much money over the years using this debit card. I know some people don't like it because you might take the hard pull. It's totally worth it because it's a debit card. I love it. I literally just put my money that I need to. They reimburse me my ATM fees. It's a pretty fantastic card. So if you don't have it, definitely get it. If you want it after the live, leave a comment and I'll put the link to the $100 referral. I get nothing for it. You get $100, but I want to make sure you're getting $100 because that's free money in your pocket. You do get a 1099, but either way, it's still worth it. Let's see. Israel says, I just got my 60,000 point bonus on the Chase Sapphire Preferred. How can I get the most value with different hotels? So Israel, to get the most value for your Chase points, when you look at hotels, you are going to look no further than Hyatt. Hyatt is going to give you the most value for your points. I did a video a little while ago looking at hotel point values. And if you want to look at it, let's see, like Hyatt was worth about 2 cents per point. Marriott's worth like 0.8. IHG is worth like 0.5. So value-wise, and their charts are so inflated except for Hyatt right now. Hyatt, you can get some great value. For example, there's they've been slowly expanding with some really nice boutique hotels over in New York City. They have one, was it the Guild Hotel? It's a Thompson property, 15,000 points per night. Like, good luck trying to get another decent property in New York for 15,000 points a night. I was looking over. I think they have hotel like in Santorini. I think actually Sebi's over in Santorini right now. I've been watching him on his Instagram. He's taking some really good photos. But they've really been expanding for their small luxury hotel collection. Hyatt, though, definitely when you look at, I gotta hit myself. Hyatt, definitely want to look at to get the most value for those points looking at hotels. Let's see. Icarus, what did you miss? Let's see. I don't know. We talked about United, some Chase, talked about, their problems and, how United just kind of seem to be more competitive and, just quit their bitching. Let's see. I called American Express, see if I could get the Simply Cash card on my wish list. It's gone. Yes. If you didn't know, if you haven't paid attention, I posted a video today reviewing their new Blue Business Cash card. They have removed the Simply Cash card, which really sucks. And I know they're going to market it. It really sucks because, while people may not have really gone after this number one, 5% cash back on their office supply stores and cell phone bill was really good. They've scrapped that card in favor of 2% cash back for up to $50,000. I'm not a big fan of this card. If I was going to go ahead and get a 2% card and I had a big spend or I'm even looking for a bonus, I'm looking, number one, for 2%, just straight 2%, no bonus. Probably a Citi Double Cash gives me better benefits being a MasterCard or a World Elite MasterCard. If I'm a big spender and I'm looking for a big bonus, I'm probably looking at the Capital One Spark card or even the Capital One Venture card, that gives me more options. So I think this card really falls flat. And I just think it's not a good move in the long term. If you're looking for that, I'd probably go Blue Business Plus anyways from American Express. Let's see. You need to do a more in-depth review of the excursions perk for United. There's no videos on YouTube, maybe 2, including yours. It's confusing. I had to do a lot of research to get it. Ro, I think that's a great topic, and I should cover that. I'll probably do a video on that. I will tell you, I will probably wait until they go dynamic in November, because if I do it now, it's going to probably be out of date in a couple of weeks or a couple months. So I'll keep an eye on it. I can tell you, I've done a couple of awards. So I've been doing some award booking searches for the videos and whatnot. It's weird because United's been playing games with the excursionist perks. When you book one ways, you're going to see one price on tickets with maybe different stops. But when you start trying to put together the excursionist perk, I've seen them take away flight options that were better, leaving you with crappier routes. So I'm really curious to see if that kind of continues going forward. I think maybe next time, maybe I'll do an award instead of maybe one week, maybe one of these award booking demonstrations, instead of doing a viewer or subscriber request. Maybe I'll walk through the excursionist perk, showing different options, how you can get the most value from it, and how you can utilize it. Maybe I'll do that for an upcoming award booking demonstration so you can see how that's done. Would you downgrade your Delta card to the Blue? Absolutely not. The blue card gives me no benefit. It's just not. It's not worth it's not worth one of my 5 credit card slots for American Express. I would. I would either keep the gold or get rid of it. The blue card, it doesn't do anything. It's got crappy earning rates. Gives me no benefits. And if I'm gonna have a card with lesser benefits, I'm more likely to get the blue business cash than I think the Delta Blue. Herberto says, greeting Puerto Rico. Good evening, Herberto. How are you? Thank you for tuning in tonight, man. I appreciate it. Let's see. I think I answered that one earlier. All right. Nathan says, Ink Cash or Ink Preferred are the cards everyone should start with. Your 524 clock doesn't start. And work around earning rates. Gift cards are unparalleled. I think the Ink Cash, if Wise Flies is still listening, chime in here, man, because I know he loves the Ink Cash. But the Ink Cash, Ink Preferred are really solid cards. I actually let me know in the comments if you're listening right now. I've been considering doing like a Chase personal trifecta to a Chase business trifecta to show people or comparing them to see which one is better for people, because I think we kind of look at different cards, but like the Chase business cards are some of the best out there. You could legitimately build a solid trifecta just with 3 Chase business cards and just completely forget about the personal cards if you wanted to. Should you? No, but could you? Yes. But let me know if you want to see that video down in the comments, because if you also, I guess I'll ask this just like everyone else is in their video. If you're liking this, hit the like button. Hit that thumbs up button. It does help out the channel, and like people, it helps out in the YouTube algorithm. Which now that algorithm. All right, so let's see. Did you take advantage of any Amex plus Prime 20% off with MR points or Prime Day 3-month offers? Aaron, I actually have I have a Prime membership. I did the video on it. I think I got like probably on the deal of the year with membership rewards on Ebates. I bought LifeLock at 120 points per dollar. I bought it at, I earned 71,000 points for one purchase. I bought a couple things. I don't even have them down here, but I bought some wireless earphones. I didn't take advantage of the 20% MR points. I don't think I had that. I think I used it up earlier. It's not targeted on my account right now. But when I get it again, I've been targeted pretty regularly. I use them quite frequently to buy Airbnb gift cards for myself. But let me know, Aaron, did you take advantage of any of those, man? Let's see. Nathan says, Bank of America travel rewards, premium rewards are overlooked. Shufu used to put them down, but with all the benefits nuking going on, the gift card loopholes being scrapped, the game has changed. I like the Bank of America setup, especially if you're someone who can put a lot of money into their accounts and get that the 75% bonus on their credit card spending. But I have been personally, Bank of America like has it out for me because they won't even approve me for a card anymore. They're like one of my oldest cards, but every time it says like you basically need to put money into an account, and I've read like $1,500 in a CD or something like that will do it. But they won't approve me for a card whatsoever. My credit's over 800. My utilization's low. But man, Bank of America hates me. But if you can get those cards, that is a solid combination to run. Sir Frank, let's say I've had the United card for over 2 years. Can I downgrade to some other card, then reapply? I have over 109,000 miles I don't want to lose. Thank you, bro. Sir Frank, thank you very much for the question and watching the channel. One thing to know, if you cancel that card, that's okay. Your miles are not tied to that credit card. They're in your United account. So if you cancel that United card, you're going to keep those miles. And it's super easy to keep your United miles alive too, because what you can do is you can use the MPX app, purchase yourself like a gift card to, let's say, Starbucks, instant, right to your account, resets the clock for you. But if you can downgrade it to, there's a fee-free card that you can downgrade to. But if you're worried about keeping a card just to keep your miles alive, the credit card, once you cancel your credit card, the miles aren't tied to the credit card. They're tied to that account. It's different if it's an Ultimate Reward earning card, but if it is United or some other co-branded card, not tied to the credit card at all. Let's see. Oh man, YouTube's got to stop doing this, messing with my comments. All right, let's see. Can I get the JetBlue business card and the regular card, or does Barclays have rules against that? You can have both, Charles. But Barclays like one card every 6 months. You don't want to push your luck with them. But if you can do that, absolutely, you can have both cards. There's nothing saying you can't have both cards. Typically, though, it's get one card, wait 6 months, and get another one just to increase your opportunity. And if I was looking at cards, they've got some decent cards going out there as well for Barclays. You have the Aviator business card, which is offering things like 75,000 points, and even their personal AA card on Barkley. So you have some opportunities out there. JetBlue, though, if totally worth it as well. I'd wait for the bonuses to go up, though. But Barkley will match in the first 30 days if you were to apply, and the offer were to go up. Outside of 30 days, you're SOL. They're not going to match you. Within 30 days, you're good. Typically, you're good. See, the Louis says Hilton Aspire is great. Stayed at the Hilton Playa del Carmen for the weekend. $550 value. Use my $250 resort credit. Same night on a couples massage. Even if I can't get credit, you know what? As long as you're getting value, Louis, that's awesome. You know what I mean? If you use that self, had a great experience at a resort getting a couples massage, you know, the experiences are really what build these things, man. So while we try to get the most value and reduce our costs across the board, sometimes it's worth it to kind of just, you know, suck it up and to say, you know, I got a good experience. I built a good memory, and that's worth I think that's worth more than the money we spend on these things. Let's see. Aaron, are you the credit card go-to guy at your day job? I kind of am, just curious. Aaron, I actually left my pharmacist job. And this is so between doing YouTube and like answering questions, I stayed home with my son. So I can do more of this stuff. But when I was at my day job, I'm the go-to credit card guy for family, friends, work, people I don't even know. Because when we're at some sort of function, someone will be like, hey, that's the guy that knows credit cards, and he can, he'll tell you how to get to Hawaii for $10. So it does happen. But now this is, I guess, if you want to call this my job, this is what I do. More so, I'm always working on content and trying to think of different ideas for you guys, to like, just number one, be different, to get thought process. But, this is kind of what I do now, and I love it. It's not even work for me. Like, I feel like I'm just hanging out with people, talking points, smiles. Like, this isn't work for me. Doing videos doesn't work for me, but this is great. Let's see. Charles, if you find award availability on Virgin Atlantic, can you use Delta miles for that, or do you have to transfer currency to transfer to Virgin Atlantic? So Charles, great question. If you're looking to book Delta miles using Virgin Atlantic miles, if you have Delta miles are Delta miles. You can't use your Delta miles to book on I should rephrase that. You can use Delta miles to book Virgin Atlantic, but if you check Virgin Atlantic's website for availability using Virgin Atlantic miles, you can't use your Delta miles. You would need to transfer Virgin Atlantic miles to your Virgin Atlantic account to book that Delta flight. I have an award booking demonstration, I think, talking about that with how to save money on Delta miles. But any program that you're in, the miles are going to be. So if you have Delta miles, they're Delta miles. You have to basically, you're constricted to the confines of Delta's program. If you have Virgin Atlantic miles, you're confined to Virgin Atlantic constraints for those points and programs. So if you find flights on Delta, I would check Virgin Atlantic for availability. If that opportunity is there, you're going to transfer Virgin Atlantic points, and then you're going to you're going to book that way. The award booking demonstration I have coming up next week actually shows a way, or it's actually talking about, because not all opportunities with Virgin Atlantic miles on Delta show online. And in the example, this person is going to, it's like 50% of the cost use Virgin Atlantic to fly Delta than using your Delta miles. So I'm really excited for that one, because it's stuff I haven't been able to show yet, but this is the first time I've been able to kind of walk through some of these as well. So next Wednesday it goes live. I recorded it just the other day, but that's what I would do there. Let's see. Nope. Let's see. What card is the best for what card is the best for non-hotel airfare type expenses like car rentals or theme park tickets? So car rentals and theme park tickets, it's going to generally code. Well, it depends on the theme park. I can't always guarantee it's going to code as travel, but car rentals, I would say a card like the Chase Sapphire Reserve, even the preferred for that for the primary auto rental coverage, is really good. Saves you a lot of money. I would think of those. As far as theme park tickets, if it's coded as entertainment, probably the Capital One Saver card. It's 4% cash back on all entertainment purchases. I'm trying to think if there's another card that has entertainment as a one. I know, the City Premier, I think up until September is 2x, but that's where I would look there for those. Let's see. Let's see. What's going on, Shamrock? How are you doing today, man? Let's see. Is it a good time to pick up the Hilton card? I currently don't have a hotel card. Sidious Gemini, if you are under 524, I would probably look at like a Hyatt card beforehand, but a Hilton card right now is a good time. They're offering 150,000 points for the Aspire card, 125 or 130,000 points. I think if you go incognito, you can find 150,000 points for the Ascend card, or sorry, the new Hilton Surpass card, which they renamed, but now they're renaming the old name because it's just too confusing to people. Hilton card, definitely worth getting. But if you're under 524, I would wait to do that though, just because there's better cards to burn a slot for. Because while it's 150,000 points, not nearly, it just, the number is great. It'll get you a couple free nights, maybe. We just stayed at the London NYC over New York. It's going to be a Conrad property. That was 95,000 points a night. So that credit card will get you basically one night there. Super awesome. The review should be coming out that review should be coming, I think, here next week or so of our stay over at the London NYC, because I'm trying to do more travel stuff for you guys too. Let's see. BK says yes to Chase Business Trifecta versus the personal trifecta. Awesome. Let's see. Hey, I did the Ebates LifeLock thing yesterday morning for putting thanks for putting it up right after I checked it. It went down to 80%. Thanks. And yeah, that, someone left a comment. I forget who it was. Left a comment, said that right after it went down after my video went live. I'm flattered. I don't think I'm not that big of a person, I think, in the big scheme of the world. But yeah, at 120x, man, that's a hell of a deal. And even 80x was good. So like, I know people are like, oh, it's only 80x, but like, if you value them over 1.25 cents per point, you're still getting a good deal. So basically, you're buying points on the cheap, which, you know what, in this game, sometimes that's what you have to do. Like, I bought them for basically like 0.8 cents per point or something like that. Like, it was a great deal. I'm going to use those. Even if I use them for just a mediocre coach flight, I'm still getting double the value. And if I decide to use them for a business class ticket, I'm getting even more value. Let's see. Chasing Cash Inc. preferred dual will. That's funny. Kind of off topic. Let's see. Champ says kind of off topic. Thoughts on Amex and the recent moves with priority pass lounges? I actually use those restaurants. I'm still hoping for something bigger with their lounge pass. Champ, I actually think it sucks. I've used the restaurants a couple of times. I like them myself. I like them myself, and I think it hurts. But I think I'm hoping, and I think something's coming with that Lounge Buddy acquisition. There's got to be something there. And it would be a good benefit to people as well if they somehow incorporated how Lounge Buddy worked, maybe a credit, some sort of lounge access to some of these lounges they had partnerships with. It would be really good. If not, my curiosity is Visa and MasterCard going to cut the restaurant benefit as well? Because in reading about it, the restaurants aren't making a whole lot of money on these things. And like when we took advantage of one, where was it? Was it Philly? I think it was Philly. We definitely earned way more, I think, than what they probably reimbursed on. Like, we had a really good time. It was awesome. So I'm curious to see if that happens as well. Let's see. Dolly says, I looked at 120x offer went down to 80x. Dolly, that happened to a lot of people. The deal, I think they realized it was so good in general. But even at 80x Dolly, you're still doing great at it because you can get some good value for those. So at one person, I still think it was like 23,000 points. You wait till a transfer bonus comes around, you're getting yourself at least, we'll even say, a free domestic ticket. You have almost enough right now to use enough for a free domestic with a stopover on Aeroplan from that. And that's a really solid deal. So I wouldn't be discouraged. It's not as good as 120x. I completely agree. But 80x is still a good deal on this. Bank of America, definitely heavy relationship type of lender. I agree with you, Shamrock. Let's see. We're watching from the beginning. Started delay. Had to change a flight booked in November. They charged me $75 when I gave them 5 months. That should be waived for United card holders. I agree with you 100%. I think that's one benefit they could look to add is if you're a United card holder, waive those change fees, waive the close-in booking fees. That would give me a reason if I fly United even a couple times a year to hold that card. Without it, I mean, that's something unique. Something over the Chase Sapphire Reserve and other airline cards would make me want to potentially keep it. Joseph, thank you for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. Happy travels to you. Have a good night at work. I appreciate the support, man. Jethro, United switch to Amex. That would be pretty interesting because if that happens, let's think about that for a second. If United were to switch to American Express, that leaves Chase at this moment in time. That happened. We'll say it happened tomorrow. But Singapore Airlines, and they pass on fuel surcharges. So that would realistically just leave Hyatt. I mean, that would just leave basically Hyatt. So I'm curious if, hey, Brian Jung, what's up, man? How's it going? If you guys, I'm sure all of you know Brian Jung. He's topping in. Check out his channel. Brian puts out some pretty awesome, funny stuff. I loved his Chase video with the drug bust. That was hilarious. I was rolling on the floor laughing over here. Brian's got a great sense of humor, great information, great knowledge base. So, Brian, we should hook up, do a collaboration sometime, man. Let's see. But yes, if that happens, Singapore Airlines then is their only one, which causes problems because they pass on fuel surcharges. And then you're left with Hyatt. So I think that it's a really big problem for them if this relationship stays rocky. And they have to do what's best for them. But man, if they lost United, they have to somehow mix it up. And Chase has just been, I've been on the record saying that I think they're too complacent and they just kind of need to get it together and kind of go out and grab more business. Let's see. Let's see, where did it go? Man, I wish YouTube would stop moving the comments when I'm trying to scroll through them. Just FYI, the best earbuds are the Kip Switch T5. Check them out. I actually just bought some. They were on Prime sale. I got them today. They're super awesome. I'll check those out too. But man, they're gonna be really good. So like when my wife and I travel, we listen to like Rick Steve audio guides when we're doing. And so we put one. Well, we always had like the cords on us, so when one of us moved, we'd like rip our ear off. But now we have that. We'll go ahead and like put one in one ear, one in the other, and like we can walk around and be a little free, not have to worry about like ripping an ear off for them. Let's see. Would you recommend getting the American Express? Would I consider it? Nick, great question. Nick's asking if I would consider getting the American Express Gold Card again. If they're offering me a bonus, I will sign up tomorrow. See, the thing is, I will open cards if the opportunity is there. I opened a new card last night. The video coming on what card that is actually dropping tomorrow morning. I moved some things around. I shot that today because I'm opportunistic. I think the gold card is a great card. Love the card. Just for my daily spending, it doesn't work out for me. But if they're going to give me 50,000 points, I'll sign up tomorrow. Absolutely would get it again. I wouldn't even think twice. Let's see. City Premier for entertainment. Yeah. I think the City Premier though loses that in a couple months, but I totally agree. 2x on entertainment still for the time being. Aaron says, love this building. Love this. Thank you. Thank you for watching, Aaron. I appreciate it, man. Building my 4-card Chase setup. I have the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Want to get the Ink Preferred for bonus, then downgrade to the Ink Cash. Get the Bink as an element in the Freedom. Thoughts? I think that is a really solid setup. One thing I would say though, as well, since you have the Chase Sapphire Reserve, or you have the Ink Cash, you're going to downgrade. I think that looks really good to me. If you didn't want to downgrade, look to apply for those cards and get the bonus because that's 50,000 points. If Chase isn't going to approve you for it at that point in time, then I would downgrade. But 50,000 points, 3,000 spend, you could have 2 Chase Ink Cash cards, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I would probably look to apply for it as opposed to just downgrading it. Chase won't give it to you, then I would downgrade it, man. Let's see. Yeah, I would agree, Dolly. It's nice to see Brian in the chat room tonight, man. I appreciate it. Let's see. Let's see. Brian, let's see. Oh man, let's see. Man, have I done meetups yet? Aaron, I haven't done a meetup yet. I don't know how many people would gather for a meetup. Fun story. When I was in New York, was it last month? My wife and I were walking and we sat down. It was the first time it's ever happened to me. We sat down at a bench and someone came up and tapped me on the shoulder, and it was Javier. It's Javier, if you're listening, I appreciate this. This is like you made me feel like a superstar, man. So we sat down and he taps me on the shoulder and says, "Hey, do you have a YouTube channel?" I was like, "Yeah, I do." And he goes, "Are you Waller's Wallet?" And that was like the most surreal moment for me in that point in time. Like, I mean, my channel's like a smaller channel. We just hit 3,300 subs, but like, to be recognized. And I was completely like taken aback. So like super cool story for me. I just don't know if I have the following yet to have a meetup. I would love to, I would even fly in for a meetup if I had enough people doing it. So if people leave comments, where you're located and I get enough people, yeah, I'll totally have a meetup with people, talk points and miles, have a couple beers with you guys, chit chat. but I don't know if my following's there yet. I have 3,300 people follow me, which is super awesome. I appreciate every single one of you. But I know you're scattered out, so let me know if you guys wanted to meet up and we have a generalized location. Like I said, I'll fly into it. That'd be really fun to do. Let's see. Brian Jung over there with the flex. Nice. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Anyone need to ink a deal with American? I agree, Shamrock. If someone, let's see what Brian said. Oh man, Brian's down for a collaboration. I'll message you, Brian. Let's work on that, man. I think we have a lot of fun with that. All right. Have a good night, Brian. Let's see. I agree. Someone needs to link a deal with American because I think either American would be good. I think Japan Airlines would be good. Aegean Airlines, I think, is an undervalued Star Alliance program. But I think American would be good because people like the simplicity of it. It does offer some value across the board with their partners. But I think been saying it for years. It just haven't come to fruition. I think the most realistic option is Citi because of their partnership with them. Barclay, they kind of flop with the arrival Premier. But I do think the opportunity there is for, Citi to do it. But I don't know if it's going to happen. I've been saying it for years. I think other people have been waiting for it too. It would be really awesome if they did, though. See, Aaron, let's see. Yeah, Aaron, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's awesome to see all these comments come in. I enjoy interacting with everyone. All right, let's see. I agree, Shamrock. I don't know how Citi hasn't sealed that deal. See, I'm trying to see. I mean, I really hate YouTube. YouTube keeps moving my comments when someone every once in a while. So, what's up, Aframs? How you doing, man? You are the only one that matters. All of you matter to me. Let's see. Icarus, I'm gonna just a little secret. I say Amex. I've always said Amex, but I know it riles you up. So I kind of enjoy it every once in a while because I feel like I understand your sense of humor. So I could say Amex or AMX. It's just fun. It's fun. I've always said it that way, but I know it riles you up, and I enjoy that just because I feel like we spar with each other now and then. It's really fun with me. Later, Brian. Let's see. The only Chase card I find real value in is a Ritz card. Absolutely kill it on $100 Visa Infinite discount for some awesome round trip tickets for less than $100. Shamrock, I think that is a great benefit of the Ritz card. Even the CNB Visa Infinite card is at $100 discount on 2 to 5 round trip tickets on coach tickets for domestic use. I think it's pretty awesome. I wish that if the Sapphire Reserve could add that would be huge. I wish my Altitude Reserve would add it. That would be an awesome benefit as well. But that's been a huge benefit. Thank you for sending me the link, Charles. I appreciate it to check out those earbuds. Let's see. Let's see. Do you think Citi slashing benefits will precursor them to allow Citi double cash transfer to 1-to-1? So I have an interesting theory on that. I was going to make a video on it, but I feel like if Citi allows the double cash at a 1-to-1 ratio, then I think what Citi is banking on is the fact people prefer the earning rates over benefits. So if they allow 1-to-1, then people might go, well, you know what? I get 1-to-1, no fee credit card. This is basically like the Blue Business Plus, but it's a personal card. So I'm still going to put spend on this card. And people are going to then slowly forget about the benefits that were cut on those cards because of the better earning rates. And if Citi does that, that's kind of my guess. They're going to assume people care more about earning rates than some of these benefits, which I don't necessarily disagree with them on. But man, that hurt them cutting benefits on some of their travel cards across the board. Let's see. So I can apply for business. So I can, let's see. Kenneth says, so I can apply for a Barclays Biz card and an Amex Biz card in a 5-minute period. They both won't know I applied for 2 cards. Will they know? Number one, Rashad, thank you for the tip, man. I do appreciate it. I appreciate the support. I appreciate you tuning in and watching the channel. So thank you very much, Rashad. I appreciate that. Let's see. Will they apply? Things are happening so fast now. I mean, even before I applied for my card last night, it was on my account before I even got the approval. So will they? Yeah, they might know if the computers might recognize it. I'm not exactly sure how fast their computer systems work, but I've done multiple cards in the same day. I think the most I've done is like 8. This was a couple years ago. Recently, I've done like 2 or 3 at a time. So I haven't really seen too many ill effects from it. But could they? Sure. Would I still try for it if I was under? Absolutely, I would. Do I like Bitcoin, Icarus? I actually haven't really jumped too much into the cryptocurrency. So I think it's interesting. I love seeing the roller coaster ride people are on. I've thought about getting into it, but I'm going to wait for it to dip down before I even consider it because, there's some really good opportunities out there, but I haven't really looked too much into it. It kind of scares me because it's so volatile, but I think it's pretty good. Charles says, if you're ever come to California, let me know. I'll definitely grab a drink with you guys. Charles, absolutely, man. If I'm ever in California, I'll let you know. What part of California you at? Orange County? Okay, I'll let you know. We actually almost went to California, I think, for VidCon. We had to cancel that, though, unfortunately. Let's see. Rashad, I'm a YouTube star now. I don't even know if I'm a YouTube star. I think I'm far from that. But, it was such a surreal moment for me to have someone recognize me. I still talk about it because it was just so cool. And it was like the first time that ever happened, like I think people like it was just really cool for me. I can't even it's just really awesome. Michael says, keep up the good vids. Thanks, Michael. I will do my best to keep up. If there's topics you guys want to see, let me know in the comments too. I'm always taking or video requests. I got like a backlog of stuff I'm working on to get more content out. Let's see. Icarus, you've been on board with Bitcoin since $900 and you've made a lot of money, my man. Tribute pay. That's right. What's up, David? Welcome back. It's always good to see what's like. David, who actually just missed Brian Jung, he popped in the group for a little bit, said, hey, what's up? So, David, let us know. What are your thoughts, David, on American Express getting rid of the gift card loophole? I think people in here would really like to know that. Let's see. Again, Rashad, thank you very much for the tip. I do appreciate it, man. Does US Bank Outfitters code the Cash App via debit card as mobile payment? Does it code Square and Discover? So I don't think so Square Cash, I don't think it does on either one of those. I haven't tested them out myself, but the mobile wallets, I don't believe it does for those, Catchy. I'll look at some research of those, but I don't believe it counts as mobile. Mobile, they count as like your tap and pay from Samsung, Apple Pay, Google Pay, things like that. If you tap it, Square, like the Square Cash App, I don't think so. So that's my gut instinct says no to that myself. Reckless, what's going on, man? Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. I feel like I've seen you here for a while. I do appreciate it, man. What will bother me is Sharon would have said if they pull the cutting the benefits and folks don't leave in drove. What is to stop Chase from doing this? Nothing is a stop Chase from doing the Shamrock. I think that it will be interesting if Chase doesn't cut it. Like when they offer so many benefits up here and everyone's down here, like they could afford if they wanted to cut some benefits down and still be ahead of their competition for those. So, what if Chase just got rid of delay coverage and only had trip cancellation coverage, or 24 hours for delays? There's a lot of things they could do to still give value over other cards while it would still suck. So, Chase, I think while Chase has the travel protections, they're lacking in other categories. So that's kind of helping them keep their value a little bit higher. But man, I would love to see something better from them. Best ways to book a trip to Hawaii. Louise, I actually just did a video on this, on best ways to book it. Actually, one topic that came up, it was found by Nick over at Frequent Miler. So I want to give him credit where credit's due. He found on Turkish, I think it was Turkish, 15,000 miles round trip. There's some jumps you got to Hawaii on Star Alliance. Some stuff you got to do though is that you have to he had to email over all of his credit card information. It's not secure, so that's a little kind of if you're worried about that, but you have to email them. You can't book it online. But I did do a video on other options to fly to Hawaii just the other week. It's in my videos there. I'll do a couple more because I gotta get upstairs here in a few minutes. So I'll do a couple more questions, and then we'll do this again next month. This has been awesome, guys. Let's see. They can charge $450, and they offer. Let's see clients. Let's see. Let's sit 101. Hey, Chris, if you want to shoot me an email, man. If you want to talk, I want to talk credit cards and Bitcoin. I'm totally up for that. Shoot me an email. Do you think it's better to downgrade the Chase Sapphire Preferred to a Freedom than apply for the Chase Sapphire Reserve to get another bonus, or product the reserve? Change the reserve. If you're eligible for the bonus, Michael, I am totally on the side. You downgrade to the Freedom, get the bonus for the reserve. It's, to me, it's not even a question. 50,000 points is worth it. You're upgrading if you're gonna upgrade, you're not getting the bonus. You're paying 450. I might as well get 50,000 points for that. For it. So I would say downgrade to the Freedom if you're eligible, and then apply for the reserve. Let's see. See, I think I agree, Shamrock. Amex is pulling off with the 550 Platinum with no travel protections. If they don't lose clients too, then the benefits may slowly start to dwindle. Even with them not having travel protections, the Platinum card has so many more benefits, though. You get hotel status. I know I'm not a big fan of the Uber sliced up credits, but there's some in the Platinum card I think is overvalued. I think so does David. So I think there's still value there, but if they could add travel protections to it, that's like my wish list. That would move people over from the reserve, I think, to the Platinum card for airfare. Yeah, man, I knew Amex loophole was closing up. They're only going to let TNC violate it so much. I agree. Especially, I agree with you, David, especially as people were just starting to talk about it all the time. I mean, I know I talk about it. I think you've talked about it as well. Like, it's on the blogs. Like, you have to game the system. And like, as people are gaming it, I think people are foolish to think they're not reading the Reddit forums or reading the blogs or watching these videos to figure out what people are doing. I only grab Reckless. I'm grabbing the mic because like my hat keeps hitting the frame here. But yeah, I mean, I got my tattoo. I forget it's there. I'm thinking about getting another one though soon, but we'll see. Let's see. It's going to be interesting to see those who absolutely love the Platinum card feel about the new changes. Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see. I'm hoping they kind of refresh a little bit. What email? Icarus, it's at wallerswallet@gmail, man. Let's see. All right. I think I've answered all the questions right now. And I've been on, I think, for like an hour and 15 minutes. So, you know what? I think this would be a good time to call it a night. I appreciate all of you tuning in, asking your questions, and whatnot. Let's see. I'll take market analysis. I'll take one more question from market analysis. I have an Ink Preferred and Sapphire Preferred. Should I downgrade my Ink Preferred or Sapphire Preferred? If I was going to downgrade one of them, I'm going to downgrade my Sapphire Preferred because the Ink Preferred gives you the same 1.25 cents per point to the portal. You get 3 points on travel. I think you get better earning rates overall. You get travel protections as well with it. For me, I'm downgrading that Sapphire Preferred and keeping the Ink Preferred. But hey, I want to thank all of you for tuning in this YouTube Live. If you like this one, hit that thumbs up button. It does help out the channel, and I appreciate it. And if you like learning about credit cards, points, miles, cashback, or anything else credit card related, hit that subscribe button, share this video, and there's videos dropping tomorrow. So I will see you all tomorrow. And as always, safe travels. Take care, everyone.